With the release of Netflix's Breaking Bad sequel El Camino, we finally got to see what happened to Jesse Pinkman. And as a treat for die-hard Breaking Bad fans, the film was full of references to the original AMC series and its spin-off, Better Call Saul. Let's take a look. And warning, spoilers ahead. El Camino opens with a flashback to a heart-to-heart between Jesse and Mike Ehrmantraut. They're standing at the riverbank where Walt ultimately shot Mike in Season 5, Episode 7. 4 episodes later, in Season 5, Episode 11, was when Jesse first voiced his desire to move to Alaska and start over.
So do I get to pick where I go? Alaska.
Now we see this was originally Mike's idea.
Alaska.
When we cut to Skinny Pete and Badger, Pete's complaining about Cheeto dust on his video game controller. A reference to one of Walt's jabs at Jesse when he said that
smoking marijuana, eating Cheetos, and masturbating do not constitute plans in my book.
To dispose of Todd's El Camino, Jesse calls on Old Joe, the lovable scrapyard owner who once helped Walt and Jesse destroy their RV. Joe reminisces about the magnet scheme from the Season 5 premiere, when he helped Jesse use a giant magnet to destroy Gus Fring's laptop.
Magnets!
Yeah, bitch! Magnets!
We see the first signs of what could be a return to the old Jesse when he puts on Skinny Pete's beanie, echoing his look from earlier seasons. We see the storefront of Twister's, the actual Mexican fast food joint where they filmed a scene set in Los Pollos Hermanos, Gus Fring's restaurant and drug front. We also see the strip mall where Saul Goodman's office was located. Saul's law firm has apparently been replaced by Duke City Sports Bar. On his car radio, Jesse hears news that Texas authorities are investigating
the poisoning of a Houston woman, are looking into her possible connection to Walter White's criminal organization.
The woman in question is Lydia, the neurotic executive based in Houston who was a key co-conspirator of Gus and then Walt. In the series finale, Walt poisoned Lydia by swapping in ricin for her tea sweetener.
I slipped it into that stevia crap that you're always putting in your tea.
After the radio discusses the fallout from the collapse of Walt's drug ring, there's news that the Nasdaq is down.
The Dow Jones is down 15 points, the Nasdaq is down 34 points.
A reference to Walt's famous "I am the one who knocks" speech from Season 4.
Do you know what would happen if I suddenly decided to stop going into work? A business big enough that it could be listed on the Nasdaq goes belly up.
There are several lingering shots of the intersection between Holly Street and Arroyo Street, a shout out from Breaking Bad creator Vince Gilligan to his wife Holly Rice. Arroz means rice in Spanish. In his search for Todd's money, Jesse first tries to check in between the walls, which is exactly where Walt used to hide his stash. Jesse also checks underneath the sink, which is where he tucked his own stash of meth back in Season 2, Episode 12. This is a frequent hiding place in the Breaking Bad universe. In Episode 7 of Better Call Saul, Mike finds the Kettleman's money tucked away in the very same spot. In this flashback scene, Todd compares his apartment color scheme to
Easter eggs.
giving a heads up to the many Easter eggs hiding in each room. One of the shirts he has lying around says Vamonos Pest, the bug extermination company where he used to work. That's how Jesse and Walt initially met Todd in Season 5. Todd retrieved this tarantula off the body of Drew Sharp, the little boy that he carelessly killed in Season 5. The arrangement of the Star Trek figures inside the spider's terrarium evokes the arachnid scene from USS Callister, the Black Mirror episode in which Jesse Plemons played Robert Daly, an antisocial villain not unlike Todd. Near the spider's cage is a creepy snow globe, which contains toy versions of Todd and Lydia inside a teacup. Todd always had an obsession with Lydia, and from his meeting with her at the coffee shop, he knew she loved her chamomile tea. Once we learn that Todd strangled his housekeeper Sonia, we can see one possible reason why Jesse opted to choke Todd to death instead of shooting him in the Breaking Bad finale. Next up, the scene where Todd casually lets a truck pass him on the road could be an allusion to the 1971 Spielberg movie Duel. Then, when Jesse goes to fetch Todd's cigarettes from his glove compartment, the name on the pack is Morley, a fake brand that has appeared in scores of TV shows and movies. Back in the present timeline, Jesse splits up Todd's money with Neil, one of the fake cops that he runs into at the apartment. But as they part ways, Jesse catches a glimpse of the logo on Neil's truck, Candy Welding Co. Jesse recognizes the name from his time in captivity. As we soon see in a flashback, Kenny, Jack's second in command, enlisted the Candy Welding Company to install extra precautions so that Jesse could never escape. Jesse then goes looking for Ed, the vacuum salesman who helps criminals like Walt and Saul pull disappearing acts and assume new identities. When Jesse pulls up at Ed's store, Best Quality Vacuum, and recognizes his red minivan parked outside, he's pretty sure he's in the right place.
I am 96% sure that you are the guy.
96% sure, he says, a reference to the purity level of the meth he once cooked. When Jesse's searching his parents' house for a gun, his eye is drawn to the crawl space on the floor. Crawl space was in fact the title of Season 4, Episode 11. Clarence, the stripper's driver and bodyguard for the Candy Welding Party, may look familiar to fans of Better Call Saul. He appears in 2 episodes of Season 4 as Man Mountain, the muscle Saul recruits to scare off a group of teenagers in Episode 6, and then as a bodyguard that Price considers hiring for protection in Episode 9. The actor David Matty confirmed this connection in a tweet. As Jesse waits for the Candy Welding Party to end, he crouches down and lets a beetle crawl on his finger, just as he did in Season 2, Episode 6. Both moments signify Jesse's compassion for people and creatures that others might easily stomp out or discard. The ensuing flashback with Walt seems to be set in the Season 2 episode 4 Days Out, when Walt and Jesse embark on a weekend-long cook session. That means that Jesse's phone conversation must have been with Jane, his girlfriend at the time.
Do you miss me?
Walt and Jesse eat at a diner that has 2 miscolored tiles on its floor, matching the arrangement of the show's title logo. The final scene of El Camino shows Jesse starting his new life in Alaska. The license plate on his car reads The Last Frontier, similar to Alaska's real estate motto, North to the Future. Before Jesse drives off, though, he hands Ed a letter addressed to a Brock Cantillo in Albuquerque. Brock is the son of Jesse's ex-girlfriend, Andrea. Until now, we could never quite be sure of Brock's fate. Jesse's captors had threatened to kill the boy like they killed his mother whenever they thought Jesse might try to escape. As for the appearance of Jane, Jesse's other former girlfriend, we've actually seen this flashback before. It was shown in Season 3, Episode 11, long after Jane had died. The scene takes place during Jesse and Jane's trip to the Georgia O'Keeffe Museum in Santa Fe.
I've gone where the universe takes me my whole life. It's better to make those decisions for yourself.
Jane's talking about the importance of deciding your own destiny. It's fitting, then, that the film closes on a shot of Jesse at the driver's wheel, mirroring the shot of him escaping at the end of the Breaking Bad finale. Now, though, he's clean, calm, and possibly even optimistic about the future. It looks like Jesse Pinkman may finally get his happy ending after all. Did we miss anything? Let us know in the comments.